Hello, everyone. This video is going to talk about the important subjects from Module 1 and Module 2. I will share my whiteboard. So this is the instructional video 2 from the Module 1 about the sets. Usually, students will ask me about this Venn diagram and the common mistake from the quiz or exams. So I would like to go over the Venn diagram with an example shown on the whiteboard here. When we create a Venn diagram with 2 or more subsets, you should begin with the region involving the most overlap. Then work your way from the center outward. Here is an example of the Venn diagram for 3 sets annotated with overlapping regions. Including the central area where all 3 intersect. It's a great starting visual to accompany our discussion. According to the example of the Venn diagram, you should notice that the central area where all the 3 circles intersect, the red circle or the yellow circle and the blue circle. According to the diagram, you can see we have 2 people, Karen and Jordan. They are 2 only who in the central region area here. And that shows they participated in theater, in band, and in choir 3. So here's some tips how you draw your Venn diagram. You should start with a box or a rectangle, right, for the universal set. Then draw 3 overlapping circles labeled as ABC. Of course, this according to this example, the A will be the theater, and the B is band, and C is choir. Okay? So first, we should label or place items in the region where A intersects B and intersects C, the center, common area to all the 3. Next, fill in the pairwise intersections that exclude the third. It means we will do A intersects B only, then B intersects C only, and A intersects C only. Okay? Then place items unique to A, unique to B, and unique to C, the non-overlapping parts. Finally, place items in a zone outside all circles if needed. If we have more people who did not join any one of these 3. Then we leave their name outside the circles, but still inside rectangle box because they are part of the survey here. They are part of our study. Then place items unique to A, unique to B, and unique to C, the non-overlapping parts. Finally, place items in the zone outside all the circles if needed. This center-first approach helps avoid misplacement and ensures all overlaps are accurately drawn. So look at the whiteboard and think over and try to draw yourself on your own paper, okay? If you have any questions, please post it under our discussions, Module 1 discussions. Or you can just email me, okay? And we also want to emphasize one point here. It's number 2. When we perform set operations with 3 or more sets, the order of the operations is the innermost parenthesis first. Then find the complement of any sets. And finally, perform any union or intersection operations that remain. So try to follow this order, okay? You should be able to complete Venn diagram with 2 sets or 3 sets, okay? Which will help you to analyze, okay? And help analyze the data we have, and also will help us make a decision, all right? Decision making. And the next subject I want to talk this video is about Module 2, logics. A conditional is a logical statement of the form if P, comma, then Q, period. Okay. The conditional statement in logic is a promise or contract. The only time the conditional P implies Q is a false, is when the contract or promise is broken. Okay. So remember this is an important statement here. Okay. For example, consider the following scenario. A child's parents said, if you do your homework, then you can play your video games. The child wants to play their video game, so they get started right away, finish within an hour, and then show their parents the completed homework. The parents thanks the child for doing a great job on their homework and allows them to play video games. Both parents and child are happy. The contract was satisfied. True implies true. It's true. Okay. The truth table for the conditional statement summarize this result below. So take a look. The truth table for the conditional statement. It's summarized. The table below. So P stands for the statement of the parents say, if you do your homework, then you can play your video games. Then the Q stands for the statement the child really wants to play their video games, so they get it started right away and finish homework within an hour. Okay. Finish homework. So we use P and Q to represent those two statements there. Then you look at the table. The third column is if P, then the Q, right? Imply Q. P imply Q. So you can see the true. If P is true, Q is true, then P implies Q. Of course, it's true. If P is true, and Q is false, then from P implies Q will be false. If P is false, Q is true. But from P implied to Q is true. Okay. If P is false, Q is false, then P implied Q will be true. They both are false, just like our algebra. Negative with another negative become the positive, right? Below is another example for constructing truth table for conditional statement. Assume both of the following statements are true. P represents my sibling washed the dishes, and Q, my parents paid them $5. Create a truth table to determine the true value of each of the following conditional statements. Number one, you need a practice. Shows P implies Q. Number two, if P implies not Q. Okay. Number three, not P implies Q. Okay. So here on, I hope you will give it a try yourself first. Okay. Then you check the answer below. Okay. Check the solution after you give it a try. So, because P is true and Q is true, so the statement P implies Q is if my sibling washed the dish, then my parents paid them $5. So P is true and parents pay the dish, paid the sibling $5. It's true. The contract was entered and completed. Okay. So look at the statement below. That's what we had to show. Under the P, true, and Q is true. So from P implies Q, of course it's true, right? So put a T for truth. The second exercise is P is true, implies not Q. Okay. So not Q will be the false statement. So how you present that? Well, see the table below. Under the P is true. Under the Q is true. But the not Q means that the statement is false. Okay. So if P imply not Q, so of course will be the false. Okay. One more try is for not P imply Q. Okay. So not P imply Q. If my sibling did not wash the dish, then my parents paid them $5. Not P is false, but the Q is true. The sibling did not do the dish. The contract was entered, so it could not be broken. The parent decided to pay them $5 anyway. So the conditional the parents decide to pay them $5 anyway. The conditional statement is true, as indicated by the truth table presenting this case. See the table below. Okay. Under the P, true. Under the Q, true. So now the P will become the false, right? So if not P, but implied Q is true, the whole statement will, conditional statement will be the truth, okay? So that's how you finish this. This is an example for you to practice, okay? And if you read the textbook, there are more examples for you to practice, okay? So if you have any questions, you can always post at discussions or just email me, okay? Okay, see you next time. Have a good study.